Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel and welcome to the spectacular red rock area around Sedona, Arizona. As you can see, this is a pretty incredible vista here. Right next to me here is, I believe this is Bell Rock, or close to it anyway, and just wanted to do a video to highlight this incredible area and the type of forest. We see an open kind of woodland of Juniper Pinyon Pine, and there's all sorts of yucca and prickly pear cactus mixed throughout. Makes for quite an interesting area, a little bit different than we're normally doing videos with. So what we'll do is we'll have a look a little closer into the forest, and you can see quite a spectacular area, so should be fun. So here we are just off the rock face that we were on there, and you can see this incredible variety of higher elevation desert. I believe it's still in the Sonoran zone, but we are at about 4,500 feet here, so you get a lot of the juniper, pinyon pine, and this I believe is soap bush yucca, and we have the desert prickly pear cactus. It's going to be in bloom fairly shortly. It's late March, so hasn't quite come to bloom here yet. And here we have pinyon pine next to juniper, and this just spectacular skeletons of these old junipers, which can live in this area, I believe, up to 1,500 years. But we'll take a little bit of a closer look at some of these bigger junipers in some of the valley bottoms here. Here we have an interesting, I believe it's a cactus, and it's Ocatella or Ocatellus. And you can see it, it's hard to even tell if they're alive or dead. But they do, I believe they get a green kind of leaf once they get a little further into the spring. But just a really interesting thorny kind of branch on it, and they kind of, it's really hard to tell if they're alive or dead, but I believe these are alive, just haven't kind of leafed out or greened up that they do, but really interesting. And of course some interesting agaves behind. This is not the soap bush, but I'm not entirely sure what species this is. I'll have to look it up, but really beautiful species. And the desert prickly pear beside it. Very interesting area. Well, here's another example here of a little bit lower elevation where we're next to a wash, and you can see the yucca here, and some of the junipers a little bigger, and here the pinyon pine that we're beside, 20-30 feet tall, which is kind of on the tall side for what I've seen here. And these spectacular junipers with all the shapes, kind of gnarled trunks, just really amazing. And prickly pear in front of yucca, in front of juniper, and then the pinyon pine. Pretty amazing area, and as you can see, it gets quite a bit denser than where we were up, a little higher, and it's kind of an open woodland area, and it seems to be fairly common throughout this kind of mid-elevation desert, the Sonoran Desert, at around 4,500 feet. So actually, here's a different type of yucca. I believe this is the soap bush yucca, and I have to be careful. I'm trying to walk on the pathways here, the trails that are in this area, as the ground here is covered in lichen that take up to 100 years or more to form, and it kind of protects the soil from erosion. So I'm trying to stay kind of onto rocks or already trodden paths, but just an incredible area with scenic views everywhere you look, and I highly recommend anybody come down if you can to see what this is all about. Just a beautiful area. So thanks for watching, and we'll look for kind of another ecosystem type for the next video. Thank you.